Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson. With me is Nathan Fox. Together we're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We got an email here from Nicholas.
Hello, Ben and Nathan. I started my LSAT journey in September and have only used the Demon to prepare. I'm currently a junior in college with a 3.71 GPA, planning to get all A's till I apply next cycle, putting school first and LSAT second.
Good.
I'm smiling because Nicholas has taken our advice. That's all great. I took my diagnostic under normal time conditions, scoring 131, as I was unsure if I could get testing accommodations. I'm pretty confident I will be able to get accommodations now that I have a letter from my psychiatrist and psychologist to prove ADHD through a psych evaluation. That's wildly overkill. There's no way you're not going to get accommodated.
Yep.
I've improved by about 20 points, scoring in the low 150s using time and a half. I have two questions. One, I'm a live subscriber to the Demon. I've done a minimum of 1 or 2 hours a day of self-study, and now I'm trying to attend 1 class a day on top of self-study. Would you change anything about how I am attacking prep? I want to ensure I best utilize the next 8 to 10 months I have to study. What do you think about that plan?
Well, it makes me a little nervous because it feels like Nicholas is falling into this trap of there's a rule and I got to figure out what the rule is and then follow that rule. The rule being 1 class and then 1 to 2 hours of study every day.
Yeah.
And it's going to depend a lot on your life, Nicholas, and as you've already acknowledged, your grades. So maybe some days all you can do is come to class. We always do practice problems in class. So you're going to get official LSAT questions done in that time period. And then on other days, you may not have time for class, depending on when the classes are scheduled, although we do have 4, 5, 6 every day. So yeah, probably something will fit your schedule. But even if it doesn't, then you can just go ahead and do your hour or 2 of self-study. I wouldn't over-engineer this. I would just make sure that every day you're doing something as long as everything else for school is done. And by done, I mean you're done with things that are due tomorrow and this week, and you are looking ahead and know what's down the road, right? You don't want to be too short-sighted with your schoolwork. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. If you were going to cut anything out of that schedule, you know, the live classes, I think the live classes are great if you're participating and if you're asking questions and if you're like really fully on board. But sometimes I see people who are clearly just sitting back and just passively there, like they're not really engaging. I'll give them a question and they'll immediately send me back the wrong answer. And it's just like, well, wait a second. You answered that really quickly. You're not getting it right. What are you doing? Like, you're not, I asked you to take your time and think about this, and you just then fired back with a wrong answer. That's not, or, you know, camera off, never raise their hand, never participate in the chat, they're not doing anything. And I do understand that there's times where you just want to sit back and watch the show, and that's fine, but much better if you can actively participate in those classes. I would say if you ever find yourself not actively participating in the class, then that might have been the one that you should have cut.
Yeah.
Number 2, Nicholas says, is a score of 170 plus unattainable with someone scoring as low as the 130s for their diagnostic? I'm not sure how many points time and a half would have added to that first diagnostic.
Well, it would have added a lot. I mean, well, probably a lot. Probably 10.
From a 131, I would think potentially 10. Yeah. Like you're just, because I think that it might immediately make you approach the test differently.
A little more relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like taking your time on the earlier, easier ones and realizing that they're easy. And once you realize that they're easy, then you just kind of keep letting the test be easy. And so who knows? I mean, that diagnostic could have been 145 with extra time.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
I wouldn't think about it. Just keep going up until you're not willing to work on it anymore.
Nicholas says, thank you for making the LSAT something I look forward to doing daily. I have nothing but amazing things to say about the demon and the live classes I have attended. Best, Nicholas. Thanks, Nicholas. That's great. We've seen people go from the 130s to the 170s. It's rare, but it happens. I don't know. Sky's the limit. But I wouldn't be looking at that 170. I would be looking at, hey, you're in the low 150s right now. Let's
get into the 160s.
Well, let's get some 155s, let's get some 159s, and then let's get some low 160s. But let's just think about the baby steps. Like, instead of 8 to 10 months plan to get a 170, it's like, well, what are you doing in the next 8 to 10 days to get to the high 150s? I think would be a better way to look at it.
Yep.
Thanks, Nicholas.
Yeah, thank you. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.